Segment 2, Gold and Black Live. I'm not going to disparage Elliot by saying we've gotten a better looking group, but I think with Stacy and Greg, I think that's true, even if Elliot's left. Greg Brohm joins us with Stacy Clarity. And Greg, first of all, I know that we were saying you don't have anything going on this weekend with recruiting and starting this whole thing called the Jeff Brohm era in Purdue football going on, but we're grateful to the fact that you've taken the time to join us. At least you came kicking and screaming. You're here. So.
No, it's great to be here, and been here 2 weeks now, and getting to know the lay of the land, and really have enjoyed it so far, and we're excited. We're excited about what possible the potential we have here and Purdue football has, and it's been a great start. So we do have a busy 3 weekends coming up. I mean, we're full speed ahead and trying to do as much as you can possibly do each hour of the day. So it's pretty hectic right now, but it's going to be all worth it.
Stacy and I both have siblings. I have more than Stacy, but you have. How do you do this and all kind of get along? The Brohms and Dad and Mom all get along at the end of the day when this is all done, or do you nitpick at each other, or do you jab each other a lot, or how does that all work?
You know what, we don't always get along,
Yeah.
but we get along. I mean, we just like brothers and sisters do in any family. But we've been doing it our whole life. I mean, our family growing up was a big, extended family, and most of it was football oriented. My dad was the oldest of 9,
Oh, really?
5 brothers, and all 5 of them played football, and most of them played college football. So we were, heavily invested in sports and athletics growing up. So that's what we talk about anyway, as a family. As we talk about sports, we talk about how we did in our games, and how we could have done better. And we analyze things, and we critique, and we jab at each other, and do things like that. And we have a little policy, I think, within our family, is that if you think something and you don't tell me about it, and then later on I'm like, well, why didn't somebody say something to me about that? Yeah. I'm going to be mad at you. Why didn't you say it? So we just go ahead and tell each other what we think. We support each other. It was kind of interesting growing up. My dad was really a star quarterback coming up in high school, and he played at the University of Louisville. He was well known in the community. And Jeff and I kind of came through together at the same time. We were always known as Oscar's sons until we started having our own careers, and we played together. I played receiver, and he played quarterback, and we also played baseball and basketball. Both went to the University of Louisville, played for Howard Schnellenberger. And then many years later, Brian, there's a nice gap between us and Brian, he comes through, and really, and I give him a lot of credit. He had quite a spotlight on him growing up, and he has such poise and handled himself well. But we went from Oscar's sons to Brian's brothers. That's how it was the transition that went on, and we've just always been together. And we were fortunate enough when Brian played at Louisville. Jeff and I both were on staff, and then we go to Western Kentucky and with Coach Petrino, and then Jeff gets the head job, and I join him. Brian comes down, and my dad calls about 4 or 5 times a day. So it's fun.
Yeah, that's a good
It's
thing.
a family. It's the family business.
Yeah,
It really is.
So is there a debate on who the best player is in the Brown family?
Yeah, always. That is a never-ending
dad,
debate.
right?
I don't know if we'll never answer that question. My dad I thinks it's him, obviously. The best athlete may be our sister, who she played 3 sports in college. So she was a collegiate athlete in volleyball, basketball, and softball.
Wow.
That's impressive.
So, she and a lot of times people don't even know we have a sister, but she is really the best athlete, and you'd probably like her a lot better than us if you knew her.
Yeah. And where does she?
She lives in Louisville. She went to Spalding University, a
Okay.
Division III school in Louisville, and so we had a big sports family. Actually, when she was in college, my dad and my mom were the college softball coaches for her.
Okay.
So my dad was the head coach. My mom was his assistant. If you
That's crazy.
you can imagine how that went.
Yeah.
I think he probably was her assistant more
I'm
so.
gonna guess.
But it was fun. So this is what we do.
Yeah, and it is a thriving family business. You come and you look at this situation. You're in your role in operations, but football. You love football. How much of a temptation, or when you say about being asked you got to say what you think. That pertains to what you see on the football field as well?
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of times in my role, usually in the role I have been in, it's more operational,
Yeah.
supportive, administrative. But I do have a role that if I play college football and I've been around it, and Jeff actually welcomes any advice I might give, because sometimes I can give an outside perspective. I'm not caught up in the middle of the bubble
Yeah.
a lot. I've actually worked in other jobs too. I've not always been in athletics. I've been in the business world. I think sometimes that's a nice perspective to bring to the situation, and he appreciates that. But you might make a suggestion here and here. I usually whisper it in Jeff's ear if I know anything, if I see anything, and just let him do with it what he may. But it's a team effort, even in our staff room. Everybody's opinion is welcomed. They all formulate the game plan together, all the coaches. So it's not like you do this, I do that. They don't. You might have a responsibility, but everybody participates as one on deciding the direction that we're going to go. And Jeff's really good about taking input before, he's the final say, but he takes input from everybody. And I think that's one thing you'll see about our coaching staff when we get it all together. I think you'll see both a brotherhood we're tight. The guys that have been with us, who are coming with us here, we get along well. We're close knit.
Yeah.
I think you'll see that with everybody, and I think in Purdue football, we're going to want to have a family atmosphere, even with the players. And Jeff is, I think we kind of model it after the way our dad raised us. I mean, we think you can be both a disciplinarian and a player's coach.
Yeah.
You can be both. I mean, you can have a structure, a system that allows players to excel and be the best they can be, and hold them accountable, but you can be a nice guy, and you can be reasonable, and you can be just like, probably our dads are, or a lot of our dads, and if you're kind of a dad to the players in the football program, you can both, you can both be you can both foster that discipline and also be there for the player and be caring and understanding when you need to be.
That's really kind of the perfect balance.
We try to accomplish that and keep it in perspective. But I think we do the best we can, and we had good teachers growing up, and the people we played for and our family. But I think the players appreciate it. And I think they'll understand that we're there for them, and I think they'll like the brand of football that we play. I mean, we're going to be aggressive. We're not scared to run anything at any time. We go for the win. That's what we do. So we're going to, every day, try to win that day. We're just going to win today.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we'll try to win tomorrow. And if you do that day after day, that's how you build a program. And we think we can get there just by doing it that way.
Is there any kind of that, fear is not the right word, but when you will do anything, are you ever like, we shouldn't be doing this right now? Or do you, just being around that environment, do you just, this is who we are, we're going to maybe
You know
take
what?
some
There have been
chances
times in the past that questions have come up, and pretty much the conclusion was reached after somebody said posed the question, why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. So
Like 2-point conversion against
2-point conversion. We've gone for 2.
Yeah.
We run trick plays a lot. That's part of our offense. They're not gadgets to us. I mean, that is a legitimate part of our offense, and we're pretty successful at it. I think our players appreciate that, and if you do something all the time like that, it just becomes the way you do things.
Yeah.
And our players don't have a negative reaction if something doesn't work. Okay, we'll just bounce back and be able to get it back. But occasionally it's come up like, can we do that? And then somebody will say, sure. Why can't we? Let's do it. And that's how we I think you'll see an aggressive style of football. You'll see it on defense and special teams even too. That I think it's going to have the opponent on edge a bit, not wondering maybe what we might try. But it's not like we just throw out crazy things. We practice and work on these things. They are part of who we are. They are part of what we do. The team where we were at last year led the nation in scoring offense. Other statistical categories, we had a top-notch rushing defense. We had very accomplished on special teams. So we're well-rounded. We try to play the game a well-rounded football. That's what we try to do.
Okay, now, and I haven't met Brother Brian yet, but I've obviously had to spend a little bit of time with brother Jeff. So you all three go to a party. Who's the one that does the most? Who's the most? Back 25 years
Yeah.
ago, who's the one that the girls are talking to because you like to talk?
Probably 25 years ago, we would all stood in the corner and no one would have, like wallflowers. Now, I think we even laugh sometimes because Jeff and I are a little bit more talkative. Brian's so calm and he's so poised, and he doesn't need to say a whole lot.
Okay.
I guess we might have feel that we have to
talk.
try to take over the room or something, but we might talk a little bit more now. But Brian's a cool customer. He's a cool quarterback, cool customer. I probably talk the most, and in a situation like that. But Jeff and I are kind of more the boisterous, I would say.
All right, that's good. That's a fair assessment. You look at, speaking of assessment, and you come into a place like Purdue, and not only West Lafayette, the city, in your role in operations, but this is a
Potentially in operations.
yeah, potentially an operation, I should say. But your role
Yeah.
has been in that. How do you evaluate? What'd you see? What's your first impressions of not just Purdue, but this town?
We really like the town. It's bigger than we probably thought
Yeah.
it was. It is, and the campus is really nice. A lot of potential. Now, growing up, we knew of Purdue football.
Have you ever been to a game here?
I've never been to a game, but I'd been on campus. I'd been to the stadium and to Mackey. I didn't never been to a game, but driving by, we would stop and kind of look and
Yeah.
check it as a family. We stopped and we walked in Mackey Arena and just looked around. Growing up, I remember a trip maybe to Chicago that we stopped in on the way, and so we knew of Purdue. My dad talked of Rick Mount.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody when he was growing up, that was a legend, and we knew of all the great quarterback tradition. So we knew of Purdue. We knew that they were looking to put an emphasis back on football and getting back on the winning side more often. A lot of potential here. The players are both they're in school for the right reasons. They're both academically oriented and want to be great football players. We think the new facility is going to be fantastic for everybody. And the facilities, the other facilities are great. I mean, Mackey Arena is spectacular. Also, the indoor facility is probably second to none. The one we can practice, that's a big indoor practice facility. I think we were, pleasantly, that was a pleasant thing that we got to see when we got here. So we can make it, indoor facility or not, we believe we can make it happen.
Yeah.
We think we can make it happen. That'll make it easier. It'll make it more attractive for potential players coming here. Great schedule. I mean, this was an opportunity that really Jeff couldn't pass up, and the rest of our guys are so excited to be here. And we think we can do, really, it'll mean a lot if we get to where we want to go. It's going to mean a whole lot to a lot of people, and we're excited about that.
Especially pretty people. Time for one more question. Anything else?
Though your role maybe is not solidified or announced or however we're going to say that, what do you anticipate your role will be, and will you have some, watching some film, or do you have
I do that. I'll probably do. I think my role mainly will be operational and logistics and decision-making for the program. I know Jeff's going to rely on me a lot just for advice and counsel and to get things done. Our system really is you don't do this and then you do that. We all just do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'll do at Purdue. And then, we all participate in every aspect of the program, from on the field to off the field to, doing what we can recruiting wise. I can't go on the road,
Right.
but when the guys are on campus and things like that. So, it's I think my role will probably be similar to what it was, but I'm excited. I'm happy about that actually.
All right. Well, we're going to be excited to see the next 3 weeks plus heading into that. I guess it's really not 3 weeks, it's 2 weeks plus to head into National Signing Day, February 1st, but also just getting spring ball. You haven't set up your spring's practice schedule yet?
It's close to being set, but we haven't done that. We're kind of taking it one step at a time.
That's a good way
get
to
to
do it.
signing day, and then we'll get to some workouts and then the spring ball.
All right, well, we'll look forward to doing that. Everybody in around Purdue sports is looking forward to the Brohm era launching, and that will be here. It's here now, but spring ball will be here before long. All right, Coach, thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
And we
Pleasure.
enjoyed it very much, Greg, and we'll look forward to getting to know you a lot better here over the days, weeks, months, and years to come. All right, we're going to take a 2-minute break. Bring Kyle Charters in here for segment 3. Want to thank Matt Rector also for, as he often does, bringing the guys up here, especially on a busy weekend. We'll take a 2-minute break and be back on Gold and Black Live.